Hello and welcome in everyone. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for WNK. Give me just a moment to get everything set up here. I want to wait till everyone kind of gets a second to get rolling in. Again, thank you once again for tuning on in. This is our first weekly segment, or our first episode of our new weekly segment, I should say. Pretty exciting. We've never really done one of these before. We're going to start out here. Well, of course, I wanted to start it a few weeks ago, but we had a lot of connectivity issues, so we had to wait till they got those kind of settled down. And now we're in a much better spot. Thank you to Brandenburg Telephone Company for helping us out there with that. Make sure you guys are saying hi whenever you come in so I can kind of recognize you, and we can chat for a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and go through everything here. I'm going to bring up first what's on our board here. Let me go ahead and switch our scene down. There we go. Looking ahead here, we do have some rain coming up on Friday. I do want to kind of go over the temperature outlook as well. I know a lot of you have questions on whether the cold air is really staying or if it's going. And I want to take a quick peek into early December. Now, this is going to be super important for us. Early December usually tells us when we have a year kind of like what we're dealing with right now. Early December can kind of give us an idea of what to expect in January and February. So the next 2 to 3 weeks are super huge for us to watch and see how things trend, not only here, but elsewhere throughout the globe, to kind of help us hone in on what we should expect for January into February. First up here, I want to take a quick look at the rain that we're looking at here. So let me go ahead and pull this down. Perfect. So we do have some rain moving in now. I do have to kind of update the timing a little bit. Model data, as you guys know, has been kind of in and out, a little bit inconsistent with things. Now on tonight's model data, it does have the rain starting Thursday night instead of Friday morning. So Thursday night about 9 to 10 p.m., a wave of rain will push through. Will actually be sandwiched in between two areas of energy here. But the rain kind of pushes through overnight Friday morning and kind of weans its way out of here by late Friday morning going into Friday afternoon. I want to also note in the middle of all that, we will see a surge in wind gusts of about 30 to 35 mile per hour throughout some brief periods. So some blowing rain, some annoying rain going on for your Thursday night into your Friday morning can kind of get in the way of some things. Also, I want to show you real quickly the rainfall amounts that we're expecting will be higher out in western Kentucky as it's better positioned for where the low pressure is tracking through. So about 1 to 1.5 inches for rain out there. A little bit lower out in eastern Kentucky because once again, it's just kind of out of the way, not really impacted too much by the actual wave itself. What's interesting though, is I want to just kind of pan this out for 1 second here and show you that we're kind of sandwiched in between two areas here. So I'm going to pull this up. We're actually going to back over here to our reflectivity. I want to show you that some wintry mix is going on up towards southern Indiana, or not southern Indiana, I should say, northern Indiana. Severe weather down to our south toward Texas, and we're just kind of in between. So usually that leaves us with some cold rain, not really expecting any type of wintry weather or anything in that sort of scenario. Real quickly though, so next up, see here, is our weekly temp outlook. I want to take a quick second though and take a pause and thank Right Implement for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much to Right Implement for being a sponsor of WNK. Enjoy any of these deals at any one of their 15 locations throughout Kentucky and be ready for 2024. Terms and conditions may apply. Thank you again to them. Before we get back into everything else, I want to take a real quick second to take a look at the temperatures of what we look like, or what we look like this morning. Some teens showing up in northern Kentucky, if you didn't get a chance to see that. 18 to 19 degrees up there. We did see some single digit wind chills briefly up in the same location as well, mid-20s for other places. I mean, it was just brutal this morning, so hopefully you got a chance to avoid it out there. But now I want to take a look at the temperature outlook. I want to show you real quickly. I'm going to start this video and then I'm going to pause it, and I want to show you the high pressure that's out here to our southeast that's circled on your screen. That'll actually allow for the cold air to be blocked a little bit better starting Wednesday afternoon going into the weekend. So in turn, warmer air does push back in. Now, I want to note that it's not super warm air that's pushing back in. We're not looking at anything super crazy out there. We're talking about mid 40s for highs on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday going into Sunday. I'm talking about low 30s for your low temperatures. So again, nothing crazy when it comes to the temperature profile this week. However, like Tabitha said, it's been super cold outside. The wind has been insane. So a little bit of warm air will help us to just get a bit of a break from the harshness that we're feeling. I will note that as well, this is abnormally cold temperatures for this time of year. We're talking about the end of November. Typically, we're looking at upper 40s for highs, lower 30s for lows. So when you're talking about going outside for work in the morning and the wind chill is about 12 degrees, That is super abnormally low. I will tell you though, kind of an interesting note here that I'm gonna go ahead and start this video and play this and pause it as well. Very warm air moves in for early December. Now, I know we said we wouldn't look too far out on model data a couple weeks back, but all 4 models have been super consistent with this idea that December, for at least the first 2 weeks, will be above average temperatures. Now, you might have a couple of cold days in between there, but overall theme is warmer than average, and this is super important. I'll break it down a little bit more in the Wintercast 2.0 that's coming up in a few days, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. But the first couple of weeks of December usually tell us what is coming on, or what is coming during January and February, especially during an El Nino year. So what we're going to have to do for the first couple of weeks of December, I should say, is to pay attention to the trends, not only here but across the globe. So that's your weekly outlook here from WNK. I want to make sure we don't have any questions anywhere. I didn't see a whole lot of questions. I do want to take a second, thank everyone for tuning in as well. Again, I know we wanted to start this a few weeks ago. Now is the time, by the way. If you do have any questions about any of the days upcoming over the next 7 days, make sure you put them in the comment section now, either on YouTube or on Facebook, because we are live on both platforms. I just want to say real quickly, thank you for having the patience with us. We did want to get this started 3 weeks ago, but you know, you really can't help connectivity issues. Spectrum was really messing with us, so we switched, and it's been phenomenal ever since then. So thank you again for all of your patience. I know this will help a lot during the winter, so that's why we wanted to start it for you guys. Again, so just to recap for one last time here, we want to pay attention to early December. It can tell us a lot about what's coming in January and February. Usually I will kind of just tease you a little bit, okay? For some of you winter lovers, we'll tease you a little bit that early December, if it is warm and it is severe in some places, it can lead to a blocking pattern occurring. And where that blocking pattern occurs is going to be important because it might allow for some more strong snow systems to move through in our area for January and February. So just a little bit of a tease there for you. Again, I'm going to dive into more of that in the Wintercast 2.0 video that probably will air on December 1st. I haven't really nailed down a date on that just yet. I might wait until a little bit into December so we can have some more actual real data. Amanda asked from Facebook, any snow soon? I'm not seeing any snow soon, guys. You know, we've gotten teased with it a couple times from the model data, but we're not seeing any snow soon. Again, we're actually going to warm up quite a bit into December. We're talking about days in the 60s, which I know a lot of you are going to say, don't we always see 60s in December? Yada, 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 whatever you may say. You know, it does happen, but the average temperature for early December includes highs in the mid 40s, lows in the upper 20s. So when you're talking about days where highs will be in the 60s, lows will be in the 40s, those are technically abnormally warm. Ivy says, hello, how was your holiday? My holiday was great. Got to spend it with some quality people, got to eat some great food, also passed out on the couch. So you know when you're passing out on the couch, it was an awesome time. Hexagon's working out. I mean, how does this sound? You know, you go back. I've gone back to some of our older videos, and I've gone back to some of the newer ones as well. I definitely think it is playing a great part. We are going to get some more of them. Temperature wise, again, we do expect a little bit of a warm up, especially after Wednesday afternoon. Now, tomorrow morning will start extremely cold. Once again, not quite as cold as this morning, but it will start cold again, quickly warm up to the mid 40s. So we actually get to break out into the 40s tomorrow. Most folks didn't break above freezing today, guys. It was actually a pretty abnormal day for November. But just real quickly, just a note once again that we do expect temperatures to warm on Wednesday afternoon, especially on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're not talking about anything crazy here, but we're going to get to the mid 40s, which is progress when we're talking about what has occurred over the last 48 hours. I mean, I don't want to look at the gas bill upcoming. We've had to the heat has been cranked up. I have a pregnant wife and she is very cold all the time. I'm telling you. Watch over Kentucky. How about a white Christmas? Reese, too early to say on that. We do have Wintercast 2.0 coming out sometime next week, so make sure you guys are looking out for updates on that. We'll talk a little bit more about those chances, Reese, in the Wintercast 2.0 video. Super cold today in southern Kentucky. It was insane. We actually had single-digit wind chills in northern Kentucky today, up toward the Cincinnati area. So super chilly conditions today. Thank you for all the likes on the videos, guys, on both YouTube and Facebook. Thank you a ton. I will tell you, If you want to watch the video on your TV or in more clear resolution, YouTube is typically better for that. So I'm not trying to pull anyone off of Facebook that doesn't want to be off of Facebook, but just a heads up, if you want to watch a more crispy video or watch on your TV or anything like that, YouTube is the way to go for that. So we are on YouTube as well, and we are live as well. Any rain? Yes, Jerry, as we covered in the video. So if you guys missed any of the video as well, it will be available on both YouTube and Facebook here shortly for you guys to watch at your own leisure. But we do see a rain chance Thursday evening going into Friday morning. It will yield about 1 inch of rain and about 30 to 35 mile per hour winds throughout that event as well. So some cold rain moving through and some annoying gloomy conditions persist for Friday. I feel like we've had a lot of gloomy days over the last couple of weeks. I don't know, maybe just me. Yes, we do have a space heater, but the house is old. It really is. We've done a lot of renovations this year, but the house is just old and has a lot of leaks and stuff. So when you're talking about like actual the warm air leaking out, so the space heater does great for our bedroom. However, it doesn't really do great for the living room. So we have to just crank it up. It saves a ton on the bill. Yeah. So last year, if you guys remember last year around Christmas when it got super cold, I mean, we're talking about super cold for around Christmas. We went out and got a space heater. I'm telling you, it did kind of raise the electric bill a little bit, maybe about like 20 bucks, but it cut our gas bill in half. I'm not kidding. If you guys don't already, this is not an advertisement or anything, get a space heater, even if it's a cheap one, right? It cut our gas bill in half. I was like, what? And now again, it added a little bit to our electric bill, maybe like 20 bucks, but we're talking about, I'm not going to put a number on it because I'm not going to release my financials and whatnot, but just know it cut my gas bill in half, which is tremendous. Is looking like a possibility for severe storms this winter. Jacob, the way the scenario is setting up, I do think severe weather is possible, but I don't think it's as possible as it is in places like Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi. I think the severe weather stays pretty suppressed this year. Now, that's not saying that this winter won't have any severe weather. I do think we do have a couple shots of severe weather, especially in early December. But I do think we're kind of in that neutral region where we're going to see a lot of cold rain, but that's for December. January and February, where colder temperatures are allowed to move in, that cold rain can end up being something else. So we'll talk about that in Wintercast 2.0 coming up in a few days. Like 7, yeah, I got a new one for our puppy. So we got a real problem. We got a real problem here. I know we're kind of spewing at this point. I wanted to keep this video short and sweet, but we're just talking, guys, aren't we? We got a real problem here. I have a German Shepherd, right? He's 1 year, like 3 or 4 months old, something like that. We got him off a farm. He was raised on a farm. We got him when he was like, I think, 2 months old. His name is Milo. Milo's parents were raised on the farm. Milo's grandparents were raised on the farm. He is a farm dog through and through. So when it gets cold like this and we try to pull him inside, it is hell on earth. I'm telling you, the dog wants to be outside. And I feel so bad whenever it's cold or it's hot or it's storming and whatnot, because he refuses to come inside. And German Shepherds aren't little, they're like 105. He's like 105 pounds. And like, I try to pull him inside and whatnot. And I don't know. We got him in last night. He stayed back here in this room actually last night. That's why I don't know if you can see it, but off to my right, there's a water and a food bowl over here. But he hates being inside. He really does. He loves being outside, and I love that about him because he's like a dog alarm system. You know what I mean? I get to save on money because of him. But I wish during times like this he would like the inside a little bit more, because it's just too cold. If you guys have dogs or anything like that, I'm not going to tell you how to raise your pets, but if it's freezing, do the good thing and bring them inside, even if they don't like it. I mean, we had to hear him whine all night, but at least we knew he was safe. He's a diva, really. So we have. I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures or whatnot. I posted them like a few weeks ago or something, or maybe a couple months ago. We have Milo, who is a year and about. Actually, he's about a year and a half now. Wow, he's getting old. He's about a year and a half now, and he's a German Shepherd. We have an Australian Shepherd who is about 2 to 3 months old now, and he's a diva. And it's crazy because you would think they're both shepherds. They should be similar. They should, all of these things. But the German Shepherd, he refuses to come inside. The Australian Shepherd, after about 10 minutes, what's crazy is we have a backyard that's fenced in. The German Shepherd stays back there, right? We can let the Australian Shepherd, his name is Ollie, we can let him outside out the front door. He won't go anywhere. He won't go anywhere. He'll go out there, he'll do his business, and then he'll come back inside. That's how much he hates being outside. It's actually crazy how polar opposite they are. And we really didn't do any differences in training them or bringing them up, but that's just kind of crazy how different they ended up being. Thank you for that comment over there on YouTube. I appreciate that. Gotta let your blanket and love it. Yeah, Brianna loves that stuff. Brianna loves that stuff, but we are in trouble because Ollie, the puppy, may or may not have chewed her electric blanket cord tonight. So she's been kind of upset with him tonight. Hates going outside, he goes out the potty, and that's it. I love that. See, I think we have the perfect setup. You know what I mean? They're polar opposites, but we have a dog that likes to stay outside. Likes to kind of he won't bite anyone as long as they're not attacking, but he's very defensive of us. So I love that about him. He loves to stay outside. He won't. I mean, if anything comes up, so I don't know if I put it out there. About a year ago, we actually had 2 people attempt to rob us. Okay. We actually had 2 people come up, and it was nuts. They came up in broad daylight. Thankfully, I was out in the living room. I was working on the laptop. I was actually making a forecast at the time, and something caught my eye, and I saw a shadow outside. And this was after Milo was barking for about 2 minutes, and so and usually Milo barks at squirrels, so I don't really pay attention, but it was a different bark, and so that's what kind of caught my eye. It was a different bark, and so I look up. And there was a shadow out there, and there were 2 people walking around. One of them was armed, and they were kind of walking around trying to figure out a way to get in. I could hear them breaking the glass. We have a basement, and we have 3 or 4 glass, like old windows that kind of hold it up down there. I could hear one of them breaking it. Milo, I would keep in mind, we have a 6-foot fence out there, okay? Or not 6 foot, I'm sorry, 5-foot fence. Milo actually jumps the fence and scares the heck out of them. And then he jumps back over, and he comes to, we have like a dog door and then a sliding glass door. He goes through the dog door, and he pounds his paw on the sliding glass door to let me know something's going on. He's a super smart dog. And so I call the police. They get out here. Of course, these 2 guys got scared of Milo. They knew that we knew at that point. They took off running. Eventually, the police caught them. But if it wasn't for Milo, I would not have known those 2 armed people were at the house. So I love him to death. Love him to death. He may or may not have saved our lives that day. And then, you know, ever since then, I already take great care of our dogs. I love dogs, but he's gotten some extra treats ever since. So let me tell you that. Yeah, Mary, you can definitely tell he has that. I hate when people say dogs. I know we're off on a different topic here, guys, but and I'll wrap it up soon, I promise. But I hate when people say dogs don't have personalities, because they definitely do. And I've never had a dog. I know I'm getting kind of he would have laid down his life that day, and I know he would have, because he jumped a 5-foot fence just to get over there to him, and he definitely got. I don't think we gave him steaks, but he definitely got a lot of good lovin's after that. And so we have him on the outside, and we have Ollie on the inside, who is a bundle of energy that I'm hoping kind of calms down by the time we have our baby in May. But he's got a bundle of energy. But Lee asks, when are we looking to get snow in the Bowling Green area? I'm not seeing any signatures of snow for at least the next 3 weeks. So hopefully that kind of puts to bed that question. And in fact, we see some warm air moving in for early December. Oh, they're great, Lisa. They're great. And, you know, we have and I think we have the perfect setup here. We have our outside dog who loves to be outside no matter what. I'm telling you, no matter what. It takes me an arm and a leg to pull him inside whenever it's cold like this. And then we have Ollie, who does not like to go outside. He is very much a lap dog, but I need him to get out of the mindset that he's a lap dog, because he's going to end up being 70 to 80 pounds. He's got to get out of the laps. Oh, that's awesome, Bonita. Yeah, what is she to me? I guess a family friend. She has Australian Shepherds, and my sister just had babies recently, and they were always so great around them, even though they're so big. But someone said hopefully the snow stays away for a while. You know, Wintercast 2.0 is coming up in a couple of days, or probably next week, I should say, and we'll cover more of this in there. But I will tell you that if December pans out, especially the first couple weeks, if early December pans out like the model data is showing now, I do think we are at play for some big snow weather in January and February. I won't go into more details than that. I'll save that for the Wintercast 2.0 video, so I guess you could treat that like it's a teaser or something. Or was okay, I think that's it. We spent way more time on this than what I allotted for. But you know what? It was fun. It was fun. Now, we are going to be doing these every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you guys are kind of just looking out for it then. If you do miss the videos, they will be on our Facebook and YouTube for you guys to watch at your own leisure. So don't feel pressed to be in here at that time. But I will recommend that you know, kind of check back in every Tuesday so we can give you this weekly outlook. Any big news, any big snows for Lexington? I heard this winter may look similar to, you know, Kim, that's interesting. We did use 1994 as an analog year in our Wintercast 1.0 video. I will be using 1994 again as our analog year for the Wintercast 2.0 video because they're still on the same trends. That does not guarantee that we'll make headline blizzards for that as they did in that year. But I will tell you that it just kind of shows you to what we're kind of trending toward. Now we just have to wait and see what the next 2 to 3 weeks look like. What is you know, Amanda, I have no idea. I've heard about woolly worms for so long, but I have no idea. I try to avoid stuff like that because I'll get influenced. You know what I mean? And my job is to focus on the science. I'll let everyone else kind of focus on whatever they want to focus on. You have a great rest of your week. See you next time. We'll see you next Tuesday. Of course, I'll have the daily forecast out on the page here in about 30 minutes ready for you guys as well. I want to thank you all again for tuning in. I am George Herbig, Chief Forecaster here for WNK. Until next time, stay safe, Kentucky.